So we've had a fair amount of information regarding the new map Kursk, but we've just recently been treated to some more information on the upcoming Stalingrad map, and we've also been given a sneak peek at some more Soviet weapons that will be introduced with update 10. So we're starting to get to see a lot of exciting upcoming stuff, and personally I cannot wait to see exactly how this is actually going to play out. But let's start by taking a look at Stalingrad and the new information we got regarding that. First and foremost, looking at the map, it looks like an extremely densely populated urban environment, but actually when you look at it properly, there's quite a lot of space between the buildings. So even though there are a lot of buildings and it pretty much looks like the whole map is covered with them, there is a lot of space between them. And when you actually see the map from a first person perspective, it is surprisingly open considering it's deep within a city. They actually give a nice bit of background information on the Battle of Stalingrad, which helps you get a feel for what the map will look like. So I'll just quickly read through what they've written. So they say, the Battle of Stalingrad was a nearly 6-month-long engagement on the Eastern Front. German High Command had pushed toward the River Volga in a bid to capture the strategic city, but found their progress slowed significantly once inside. One of the bloodiest battles of the war, Stalingrad alone accounted for more than 1 million combined casualties on both sides. That's outrageous. But yeah, we'll continue reading. So as combat progressed from the suburbs into the industrial sectors, with constant bombing turning many buildings into rubble. Unfortunately for the Germans, these bombed out ruins were a perfect hiding place for ambushers and required savage room-to-room fighting to clear out. Soviet strategy was to fight the Germans as close in as possible so as to limit their use of artillery and air support. Some larger buildings which managed to survive the constant shelling would be built up as fortresses by the men who occupied them, and one such building, known affectionately as Pavlov's house, became famous for outlasting a 2-month siege while protecting the Russian-held Volga behind. Ultimately, the success of the Soviet operations in the winter of 1942 would cut the German supplies and leave their army surrounded in Stalingrad. The Germans continued to hold their portion of the city and attempted to break out toward friendly lines for another few months, but would eventually collapse and surrender from a lack of supply in 1943. And then they go on to say that Stalingrad is a very unique map amongst the existing Hell Let Loose rotation. While urban, the nature of the way the city was built allowed for long, wide roads and larger spread out buildings. The result is a mixture of key vertical locations, and then they say in brackets, atop apartment buildings or smaller brick office blocks, open fields of fire across roads and destroyed city blocks, and dense room-to-room fighting in the factories and workshops. Vehicles are extremely potent due to long lines of sight, while infantry have the ability to maneuver amongst the rubble. So it sounds like it's going to be an absolute nightmare fighting in and amongst all those large buildings, but I reckon it should hopefully be a lot of fun. It's always pretty fun, I think, in Hell Let Loose so far, when you're working as a team, working with your squad to try and clear out key buildings. It's always pretty enjoyable. So now moving on to the weapons they've showcased. Now this is where they showed something which I've got to say I did raise an eyebrow at, and that's the scoped SVT-40. It just feels to me like a semi-automatic sniper in Hell Let Loose has the potential just to be hideously overpowered. I mean, even the snipers currently, the bolt action ones that you get, I think they can do a ridiculous amount of damage. You see some very, very high kill games. I've definitely been in situations where a whole squad's not been able to get past a single sniper, and you might say that's fair dues, but just emphasizes how powerful snipers are currently with bolt action rifles. If you were to give them a semi-automatic rifle as well, I think we could be in for some tricky situations. And also, yeah, if you combine what we've been talking about, the layout of Stalingrad, it sounds like it's going to be a sniper's dream. So combine that with the semi-automatic sniper rifle, we'll have to see. Now they do actually say when talking about the SVT-40, and I'm reading what they say here. So they say, the large mass of moving parts in the fore end of the rifle and the poorly bedded barrel cause it to bounce when fired, negatively affecting accuracy. So I'm hoping that they've made it suitably difficult to use. They really, maybe it's a small thing, it's small arms at the end of the day, but I'm hoping it's not going to be just unbelievably hard to get past someone with a semi-automatic sniper rifle. But other than that, it's a slight concern. It's a mild thing. I don't want to make too much of it. I'm really liking what they've seen. I can't wait to try out the new weapons. Can't wait to try out the new maps. I'm liking a lot what they've seen. Yeah, I can't wait to get my hands on the Mosin Nagant. I've been wanting to use that gun ever since they announced the Eastern Front. So it'd be good to also have the Soviet and German bolt action rifles facing off against each other. That's kind of gameplay we haven't really seen before, so that should be exciting. And also, of course, the unscoped SVT-40 looks like it'll be fun to use, as well as obviously the PPSH, which I imagine will be incredible. Anyway, that's it for this one. I thought I'd just keep you guys updated in case you happen to miss their community posts on Steam, which are pretty good if you want to check them out. They also did speak about the upgrades to Saint-Marie de Mont in the same little post, but I'm not going to go into that in that video. Let me know what you got in this video, sorry. Let me know what you guys think of what you've seen here in regards to Stalingrad and the new weapons. I look forward to seeing what your guys' reactions are to them. And of course, if you like the video, please make sure you leave a like and think about subscribing. Cheers, guys.